How's it going, everybody? The deadline for Season 8 submissions is approaching soon, so today I figured I'm going to cover all of the vehicle submissions and some of the cosmetic submissions for this season, and I will determine which ones are the most likely to make it. I will be rating them on a scale of 5. If it gets a 1 out of 5, then it is very unlikely the vehicle will make it. If I rate it 5 out of 5, it is highly likely that the vehicle will make it into the season. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Jailbreak content, and let's get started. Kicking things off with the vehicles, we've got the Season 8 Aeon 1 by It's Truminator. So, I think Truminator did a great job designing this car, and it looks really good. However, I don't think it has a very high chance of being the winner, as it is just yet another supercar, so the devs might not choose it due to that aspect. I'd say it's a 3 out of 5. I could see this winning, but it's not the front runner in my opinion. Next, we've got the Charge Ray by Ikleon. I'd also rate it a 3 out of 5 as, like I said for the previous car, it's a supercar, so I don't think it has a very high chance of winning, but I wouldn't be mad if it wins. After that, we've got the Pinnacle, also by Ikleon. Now this one, I'm going to say it's a 2 out of 5. I don't think this has a very high chance of winning, as it looks like if it was added, it would just be a mid-tier vehicle like the Beam Hybrid or the Rattler. And even then, it doesn't really look that futuristic, so I don't think the devs would really pick it. No hate to Ikleon, I think he did a great job designing it, but I don't think it has a very high likelihood of getting chosen. What does have a high likelihood of getting chosen is the HC-17, also created by Ikleon. This, in my opinion, is the best submission, and I hope this one wins. And I think it has a really good chance of winning as well. I think this vehicle would be really unique, and it's futuristic enough that I think it fits the theme really well. So I think this one is actually pretty likely to win, so I would say it's a 4 out of 5. It's also one of the highest rated submissions at 210 upvotes, so that has to count for something. And then another submission by Ikleon, we've got the 05 Hyperspeed. This is another great looking supercar, and I would say it's a 3 out of 5. It has a solid chance of winning, but I highly doubt it. Again by Ikleon, we have the F6 Full Mine, which is another Lamborghini. Honestly, I don't think this one will win, so I'd give it a 2 out of 5. It doesn't seem futuristic enough, so I don't think the devs would really pick it. Plus, we already have several other Lamborghinis, and I think we should get something new. Next up, we've got the Airtide, yet again by Ikleon. Now this vehicle looks really cool, has a really cool hammer shaping near the front. Like the other supercars, this is a 3 out of 5 for the same reasons. I'm not 100% confident they will add it, but there is a good chance that it might get added. Next up, we've got the G39. I would say this is also 2 out of 5. It doesn't look futuristic enough. Like, it's futuristic in a racing sense, like this is what cars will look like in the future, but in my opinion it just doesn't really fit the theme, so I don't think it will really get picked. And now this is the last submission by Ikleon. It's the Allure. I would say this is also a 2 out of 5 for the same reasons I mentioned for the previous car. Now shifting over to some other players, we've got Rally Subby. He made this submission 4 months ago, but he still put it under the thread, so I'm counting this. It is a revamp of the M12 Molten. Now it looks really good, but I would say this is a 1 out of 5. I don't think this will be added at all, as it is a revamp of a pre-existing vehicle, and I don't think they would make this a season prize. I would be heavily surprised if this was the reward of the season, especially since so many people have the original M12 Molten and it doesn't look that much different. Another concept by Rally Subby is the Abstract. I would say this is a 2 out of 5. It's just not futuristic enough in my opinion, so I don't think it would really get added. And next up, we've got the Javelin, also by Rally Subby, which he made 6 months ago actually. Now this looks really good, but I'd say it's a 1 out of 5. I don't think this one will be the season prize either, as it is a flying vehicle and it looks like it would have to fly pretty high, and as we know, spawnable flying vehicles are really overpowered, so I don't think this would be a good season prize at all. Now, this is the highest upvoted Season 8 submission. It is the Celsior by Sharky Cat. Now, I think this is a 5 out of 5. I think this is very likely to be picked as the Season 8 submission. Now, I don't think the hover height would be as high as shown in this picture. It would probably be less than the crew capsule. But this fits the theme really well. It's the most popular vehicle submission, and it looks really good. So I think this is the most likely option to get chosen. Then we've got the Hover 97, created by Faker Gen C. It looks a lot like the Green Goblin glider, and I think it would definitely be a really unique season prize. But honestly, I don't really think it will win because it would definitely work much differently than any pre-existing cars, and the devs probably wouldn't want to have to work too hard to incorporate a brand new vehicle. So I would say this is a 2 out of 5. I don't think it's very likely it will get added, but it looks really good. Another highly upvoted submission is the Starlet, created by OofEd. I think this submission is a 4 out of 5. It has a lot of support, and I think this is one of the most popular season prizes. However, the main thing holding it back is the fact that it seems to be a vehicle that has a pretty high hovering height, and I don't know how that would work spawning wise. So I could see them making it have a pretty low hover height. The Phaser, also by OofEd, which he made 4 months ago. And this is very similar to the previous submission. In fact, I think the previous submission is a significant improvement over this. So I would say this is a 1 out of 5. I don't think this will be added at all. If Asimo's adding an OofEd creation, he will just add this one, as it is better in pretty much every way. And lastly, from OofEd, we have the Vivid. I also think this is a 1 out of 5. I don't think this will get added at all. Although the vehicle looks pretty good, it doesn't really fit the theme that much in my opinion. And it looks relatively basic compared to other Jailbreak vehicles. So I don't see this vehicle being added. It looks pretty mid-tier, like the Beam Hybrid or the Rattler, as I said before. Next up, we've got a submission by Awesome Disco Guy. It's called the Limitless, and this is basically a really cool Formula 1 car. I think this is a 2 out of 5. It looks really good, but it doesn't really fit the theme that well in my opinion because it's not really futuristic. I don't think this would win. Next up, by No Cartoonist, we have the Stellar, and honestly, I think this is a 1 out of 5. I don't see this one being added either. It's just too basic. To me, it doesn't quite reflect the quality I'm looking for in a Jailbreak vehicle, so I don't think it would win. And then next we have the Pythagoras, and I forgot to open the Reddit link, so I don't know what the name of the guy is who made this. I'll probably throw it up on screen. Anyways, here are some pictures of it. I'd say it's a 2 out of 5. I don't think this will be added, as it doesn't really look futuristic, honestly. I'm not saying it looks bad, I'm just saying it doesn't match the theme, so I don't think it would be chosen. Next up, by Stealth Inth, we have the Acreor. Now this one looks great, and it's also one of the highest upvoted. I think this is a 4 out of 5. There's a very high chance this could get added. Next up, by Ziwo Tsu, is the Nuvolari. I think this is a 2 out of 5. Like the other supercars I mentioned, doesn't quite look that futuristic, so I don't think it would really be added. Also by Ziwo Tsu, we have the Polygon. This one is a really interesting vehicle, and I honestly don't think it will be added as, like I mentioned before, it looks kind of basic, so I don't think the devs would really want to add it. It's also a bit small, so I'm wondering how fast it would be. Another one by Ziwo Tsu is the Oxon, and I'm gonna have to rate this a 1 out of 10. I don't think it will win, unfortunately, because it doesn't look futuristic whatsoever. I highly doubt they would pick this as the prize. Another one by Ziwo Tsu is the Trainer. Now this one looks really cool. It's pretty sleek. I would say this is a 3 out of 5. It has a decent chance to get picked, but I wouldn't count on it. Next up, by OofEd, we have the Cyber Roadster, which is basically a combination between the Cybertruck and the Roadster. Now, this vehicle looks great, but I'd say it's a 2 out of 5. I don't think this vehicle will really get added, as it's a combination of 2 pre-existing vehicles we already have, so I think they would just add this separately instead of being a season prize. Next up, we have the Valiant by Die Was Taken, and I would say this is a 2 out of 5. I don't think this will really be added. It doesn't look futuristic enough, plus it doesn't really match the style as much, but I think there is a decent chance it could get added, so that's why it's not a 1 out of 5. Another one by Die Was Taken is the Sakura. I'm gonna say this is also 2 out of 5. I don't think they would add this one. Although it does match the Jailbreak style a little bit more, it doesn't really scream futuristic, so I don't think they would choose this one. Next, by Not Uva, we have the Arrow Wing, and I'm gonna say this is a 1 out of 5. I do not see this one winning at all. This is not a good season prize. No one's going to be able to spawn it, as it would be overpowered. Like, it would be cool if they added it in some other way, but I don't think it would be a season prize. Next, by Car Roof Spanker, we have the JBLR. And I'm also going to say this is a 2 out of 5 for a couple reasons. First off, there are some futuristic hints, but it doesn't scream futuristic. And it's just yet another supercar, so I don't think they would add it. Plus, it does look a little bit basic, so I don't think they would really add it due to that reason. Next, by Grimme1235, is the Arrowhead. Now this vehicle looks really cool, and I would say it's a 4 out of 5. This is also really likely to get added. Side note, I hope that it has some trails like the Volt bike when it drives. I think that would be pretty cool. Next, by
Guest 51525361777 is the ELJ.
I'd say this is a 2 out of 5 because it doesn't really look that futuristic. Plus it's just a car, so I don't really think they would add it. However, the car still looks really good. And then by A. Miguel is the Lambent. So I actually can't tell, is this car supposed to fly or will it just drive normally? But otherwise, this has a decent chance of winning, and it looks really good, though a little bit basic. I would say it's a 3 out of 5, as it's a bit basic, but it's futuristic enough that it could end up winning. Then by Stealth Nth is the Nuker, which is a giant futuristic tank. And I'm gonna say this is a 1 out of 5. I don't think they would add this one, unfortunately, as the main thing holding it back are the treads. Bad CC just figured out treads for the tank that we actually have, and this one has totally different treads, and it would just be a mess in how to incorporate it. Likewise, a tank as a prize would be more suited for like a military themed season, not for a futuristic season. So I don't think picking this would really be the best option. Although the tank does look awesome, and I hope they would add it in some other way, but not as a season 8 submission. Then by Epically Rick 420, we have the Intergalactic Cruiser. So this vehicle is interesting, but I don't think it would win, as it is more alien than futuristic themed. So I would say it's a 1 out of 5. I don't think it will win. Then by Present Wealth 2260, we have the Track Star. So I'd say this is a 3 out of 5. It has some futuristic elements and it looks pretty good, but it's just a car, so I don't know if they would really add it as a futuristic option. Then by Nougat, we have the Zentorno, and I have basically the exact same things to say about this as I did with the last one. And this is yet another Electro Lambo like Icleon submission, so I don't think this would be added. And then we have another glitch submission by Impossible X7. Now this one I think actually has a higher chance of winning than the other vehicle that looks like this, although I'd say it's a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's really likely, but I would like if this vehicle won. And that's it for the vehicles. Which one is your favorite, and which one do you think is likely to win? I think the Celsior is the most likely. Now let's discuss the apartment decorations that will likely make it in. I'm not going to talk about all of them because there's already a lot, and this video is already pretty long, so I'm just going to talk about the most likely ones to get added. First off, by Carousel Enjoyer, we have the Hover Comfort, and usually this guy has always had at least one apartment decoration added every season, so I think there's a good chance this one might get added. And fits the theme pretty well and looks pretty good, so yeah, I think it might get added. Next up, also by Carousel Enjoyer, is the Badimo. Now this one is really cool, and I hope this gets added. So if you don't know, Asimo, his username is based off of an actual robot called Asimo, made in like Japan, and this robot looks very similar to it, and it's called Badimo, as you can see. So I think adding this would be a really cool nod to Asimo's username's origin, so I think it would be cool if they added it. Then by Car Roof Spanker, we have the drone projector, which would just project a TV onto the wall. I think it would be pretty cool. And then by So Kid, also known as Super Pro, who we interviewed several months ago on this channel if you want to go check that out. It's the futuristic furniture set. So honestly, with this, I'm a bit hesitant on this getting added, as usually in the apartment decorations, the chairs and the table themselves are separate So I don't know if this would necessarily be added, but it looks really good. So I think it was worth mentioning. Then by LHT10V is the Ultitainment. Now this is really cool, and it reminds me of Sim Rig from Season 6. So there's a good chance this could win. Then we've got the Floating TV by Raven Beast. This is pretty simple, but it's effective and it gets the job done. So I think there's a good chance it might get added. Then by Ikleon, we have the Hologram Table. Now this would be a nice display piece for apartments, so I could see this getting added. Then by A_Mig, we have the E-Bed, and yeah, looks pretty cool. The only thing really holding it back, I think, would be its size, because I'm sure there's some houses where it wouldn't really fit, and they'd have to be careful because if you turn it around, it could block the entrance into some areas. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty good and has a decent chance of getting added. Then by Ikleon, we have the Tube Bed. Now, this one, hopefully, if they added it, you could actually lay down, because the current beds that we have, you can't lay down, you can only sit down, and we all know the reason why. But for this one, it looks like it can only fit one person. So hopefully if the devs add this, then we're allowed to lay down in this bed. And that's it for the apartment decorations. Let me know which ones you like the most in the comment section. Finally, we're going to be discussing the vehicle customizations themselves. And here I'm going to show probably the most likely submissions that will be accepted. So first off, we got the futuristic rims. It's pretty simple. There's no blender like frame thingy, so they'd have to so I'm not even sure if these are made in Blender, but if they are, it would be really nice if they got added. Hopefully you would be able to change the colors, but who knows. Then, and I think these are basically a guarantee to be added, we've got the time wrap spoilers created by Caracal Enjoyer, also known as Jailbreak DeLorean. So he was the guy who was campaigning for the DeLorean to be added. Now he's campaigning for these spoilers, which I think are really cool. So yeah, I think these are very likely to be added. They're also highly upvoted, so there's a really good chance that this will make it into the game. And then by LHT10VE, we've got the binary spoiler, and as the name mentions, it's completely in binary code, so it's just made up of ones and zeros. I think this would be a really interesting one. And then also by the same creator, we have the fourth dimensional rims, and these are my favorite rims. I really hope these ones get added. Basically, if you haven't heard of the fourth dimension, look it up because it's really interesting. As you can see, it's like this cube thing that just keeps going and going, and you can look at it from different ways. So I really hope this one gets added. It looks really nice. And then we have the hologram spoiler by Morph Guy. These ones are really nice, and I think there's a very high chance they will get added. Then by Soh Kid, aka Super Pro, we have the hovering cube rim. These are pretty simple, but they're pretty solid as well. Then by Blue Meteor, we have the plasma rims. Now the only thing really holding it back is the glowiness of it. I don't think they would glow in-game, but otherwise these are really good, so I think they would be a nice addition. Also by Blue Meteor, we have the light vortex rims. These I think are also really cool. Then by It's Truminator, we have the circuit texture. Now these remind me of like a mainframe or a motherboard, whatever you call it, for a computer. I think it would be really cool if these got added. What's interesting is that here they're in a different color, but if they were added, obviously they'd be green, because that's what a motherboard looks like. Then by Faker Gen CC, we have the Data Flow vehicle skin. Now Faker, it's pretty reliable that with every season you're gonna get a skin from him, so this is probably a big contender for skins from Faker. Also by Faker, we have the hologram vehicle skin. I think this one looks really nice, and I would love for this one to be added. Also by Faker Gen CC, we have the turbo rims. These ones look decent, and I think there's a decent chance they could get added. Hello Peter. Yep, we got some Doc Ock arm rims here, but don't mention that in front of a CMO, otherwise they might get copyrighted. I really like these ones. I would love for them to be added, but the copyright issue, it's a big one. And you know, Spider-Man and his villains, they're pretty recognizable. So unfortunately, I don't think this is a high chance, but it looks really nice. Lastly, we have the Ion rims by TO Prime. Yeah, and these rims are pretty solid, so I wouldn't be mad if these won. Now that's it for all the garage items that I think have a high chance of being added this season. Which ones are your favorite? Make sure to tell me in the comments. So, my favorite submissions are the Plasma Rims by Blue Meteor, the Badimo by Caracal Enjoyer, the Hologram Skin by FakerGen CC, the Hologram Spoiler by Morph Guy, the Robotic Arm Spoiler by FakerGen CC, the Time Wrap Spoilers by Caracal Enjoyer, the Electric Vehicle Skin by FakerGen CC, the Fourth Dimensional Rims by
IHT1OVE,
the HC17 by Ikleon. What are your favorite season submissions? Which vehicle do you want to win? Make sure to tell me in the comment section below. Also, I want to make clear that I don't think any of these submissions are bad and they're miles better than anything I could make. So if I say that one probably won't make it into the season, that doesn't mean I think it's bad. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe for more Jailbreak content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.